Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookah_anonymous_. Alright? We're able to be a little more explicit, a little more uncensored, and share content freely without running the risk of having our channel terminated. So, once again, make sure you head on down to Instagram and follow us on our official Instagram page at hookah_anonymous_. Alright? Now let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, Quentin Miller has arose back to the surface. For y'all that don't know who Quentin Miller is, he's a guy that at one point in time was ghostwriting for one of the biggest rappers of our generation, Drake. Alright, now he's responsible for co-writing tracks such as Legend, 6 Man, 10 Bands, Know Yourself, Used To, and No Telling, or for Drake's If You're Reading This It's Too Late album back in 2015. Now, although it seemed like he was on his way to living the life, writing for one of the biggest rappers and enjoying his new profound fame, all of that came to an end after Meek Mill and Drake's feud that transpired after Meek exposed Drake for not writing his own music. Now, as y'all know, Drake and Meek did a song called Rico that was featured on Meek's Dreams Worth More Than Money album. Now, after they collabed, rumors has it that DJ Drama was the one that directly gave Meek Mill the reference tracks Quentin Miller did that were the same songs off Drake's album, including the Rico song. Now, if you're wondering why someone would do such a thing, well, Drake smashed DJ Drama's wife, Summer P. Walker, and Drama did it out of revenge for Drake doing so. So, Meek Mill takes to Twitter and he says, quote, "Stop comparing Drake to me too. He don't write his own raps. That's why he ain't tweet my album, because we found out." Now, in hindsight, we all believe that Meek was mad at Drake for not tweeting his album, as most rappers these days get mad about, when they drop an album. But now that I'm looking at it, it was all a ploy to just expose Drake at the time, and Meek was setting it up. Because if you think about it, who ever compared Meek Mill to Drake? Alright, now clearly Meek had tea and wanted to tell the world about Drake having a ghostwriter, because at that time it was not known and Drake was a very big artist. Now Meek goes on to expose the reference songs to the world, and the rest is pretty much history. That led to Drake releasing Back to Back, which is arguably one of the catchiest diss songs ever, and which Meek Mill quite never recovered from. Through all this, although Quentin Miller wasn't the one that actually exposed that he was Drake's ghostwriter, the situation led Quentin Miller to no longer be on Drake's good side and tarnish their relationship. Them falling out also caused tension between Meek and Quentin, because Quentin was caught in the middle of something that he didn't even have anything to do with. Now also, Meek Mill wanted Quentin to come out and tell the world that he was Drake's ghostwriter and speak down on Drake, but Quentin refused. Meek began trashing Quentin's name and also made threats about what he'll do to him the day he catch him, and that day actually came. According to reports, in 2016, Quentin was shopping at a Nike store in Beverly Hills. He describes that Meek and his Dream Chaser crew shortly walked in after him and approached Quentin about the situation. Now, Quentin says that Meek Mill began saying that Quentin is making him look crazy to the world because he's not admitting that he's Drake's ghostwriter. Then Meek says, "I could tell you not on no street-ish, so I ain't gonna do nothing." Quentin says he thought everything was good because Meek walked out of the store. However, guys from his entourage came back in with Meek with a camera trying to film and force Quentin to admit that he did ghostwrite for Drake. Now, shout out to Quentin, because most dudes in that position would have folded. I know, judging from Quentin and his image, most people would have thought he was going to fold under pressure, but he didn't. Alright, so once he refused, he says that's when one of the men punched him in the face and then they left the store. Now, here's where Nicki Minaj comes in, because Quentin states that he later was told that when Meek Mill and them came back into the car the first time, Nicki Minaj was the one that found out about Miller being there, and when they informed her of the situation, she said, quote, "Nah, run that." Now, pretty much saying, y'all go get that footage of him admitting, and here's what I personally think. Meek was probably under peer pressure because his woman at the time was there and she seen him not doing anything to the person that he'd been threatening over the internet. So Meek had to do something because he didn't want his woman, who was Nicki Minaj of all people, to say something or feel a way towards him. And I get it. It's a pride thing. It's something we do as men. But here's the crazy part of the whole situation, y'all. Quentin was thrown into something he had no idea of, he was just making his songs and doing his ghostwriting thing for Drake. But he was thrown in, and at the end of it all, Meek and Nicki are broken up now, and Meek and Drake are now friends again. Meanwhile, Quentin's relationship with both parties are now ruined, and he's not cool with neither one of them. How ironic is that? Now, I also found something interesting because when DJ Drama was on Rory and Mal podcast as well, he says that everybody played a role in the beef, and he explains that Meek was wrong, Quentin was wrong, he himself was wrong, Drake was wrong, and so was Nicki Minaj. I'm not sure what part Nicki had in it, but now it would make sense to what Quentin is saying, because he explains that Meek only did something because she was around, because how else could Nicki be wrong? Alright? Also, DJ Drama said in the interview that there's a lot of things that he held back on and haven't put out there as well, stating that some things are best unsaid. So it seems like he's indicating that he has some type of tea and he ain't spilling because there's other things we don't know that I guess he just don't want to expose because, you know, Tom has went along. He said that him and Drake, you know, they have small talk now. They don't really, you know, it just is what it is. It's water under a bridge. All right. But the only person that really lost in the situation, if you ask me, seems to be Quentin. And he's actually the one that really didn't do a thing, which is kind of crazy. So y'all jump in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.